Box to Box NBA Preview, hosted by Ndegz.
Welcome to my NBA preview, and in 19th place in my rankings is the Atlanta Hawks. A parallel park in the red and yellow thing, old school Atlanta Hawk. Like I'm from Colley Park, but I'm from Holly Grove. Now my blood screams Sue Whoop and da-da-do. Yeah, I miss Lil Wayne. Anyway, in 19th place, the Atlanta Hawks. Our second team from the East in the top 20, 22-23 season. This is how it went. They were exactly on 500, 41-41 record, 8th in the West. Their offense ranked 9th, their defense ranked 21st in the league. Obviously, Trae Young got Nate McMillan fired. Let's just not beat around the bush. That's what happened. Then Quinn Snyder came on. They were just there. Like, they were not great, they were not bad. Like, they were just there. We thought Dejounte would actually take the next step, but defensively, he just looked meh. They've started a bit better this season. I think they are 4-2, if I'm not wrong. Then Capella was also just average. He was a beast on the boards, of course. Like, this guy has been living off of that Rockets time when he was playing with Harden. Like, Harden actually made this man get a bag, secure the bag. Then Saddiq Bey also was one person who we thought would elevate, right, his play. But my biggest thing with Saddiq Bey is that he has tunnel vision, right? Like, there are times when he doesn't see anything else other than the rim or what he wants to see, right? Like, you need to see the floor. These are some of the things when I'm not comparing him to Jokic, but you really take for granted when you see the likes of Jokic and LeBron, like or Luka, you know, like they just have awareness. Like, and I feel like, okay, he's still a young kid. Hopefully he can at least get to, if I even get to half the level of those guys, he'd be a really good player, but it's something he needs to work on. He gives you the idea of a 3-and-D player, but he really doesn't shoot well. So, like, he's just there. Like, this team, he embodies what this team is. Just there. Capella just there. Trae Young just there. John Collins just there. Even though he left, he now plays for Utah. And obviously the season ended in the playoffs when they lost 4-2 to the Celtics. As I said earlier, John Collins is out, has gone to Utah, and that was one of the moves that they did in the offseason. Talk about players that they've acquired first. They got Wesley Matthews from the Bucks, if I'm not wrong, Patty Mills, and they drafted 3 players in a player called Kobe, Mohamed Gay, and Seth Landry. And obviously Dejounte Murray resigned to a 4-year, the tune of $117 million. Then they lost John Collins and Aaron Holiday. A bit more on the draft picks. They drafted a combo guard who can play alongside Trae and Murray, even though that's a bit of a weird pick, knowing that you have Trae and Dejounte. 15th pick, they picked Kobe Bufkin. Then Mohamed Gay, 39th pick, more of a development player. And then Seth Landry at 46. Someone who can defend, who can shoot. So interesting to see if he actually gets game time in this team. Expiring contracts, you have Onyeka Okongwu, 8.1 mil on his on the last year of his deal. Patty Mills, you like Patty Mills? 6.8 mil. Good on you, Patty. Saddiq Bey, for those of you who've watched him at the Spurs, you know what I'm talking about. And then Wes Matthews is on a minimum. 2.09 million is the minimum. It's the normal amount for a minimum contract, and I think once you're a vet, that's your 2.09 is a minimum. Knowing those being the roster moves, this is how the rotation looks like. Our starting team: point guard, obviously Trae Young, and then shooting guard Dejounte Murray, and then you have DeAndre Hunter at small forward, Saddiq Bey at power forward, and Clint Capella locking up at center. On your bench, key players, obviously the likes of Bogdanovic, who had an amazing playoffs 2 years ago. He's also just been there. AJ Griffin, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu, Patty Mills, Bruno Fernando, who I think also played for the Celtics, Kobe Bufkin, Mohamed Gay, and Wes Matthews. My one big question for the Atlanta Hawk, old school Atlanta Hawk, is: can they get consistent play from their guards? Because this team only goes as far as their guards. I know I like saying that phrase a lot. Only goes as far as. Anyway, yeah. So this team goes as far as the guards go, right? They need to elevate themselves defensively. I feel like the key to them as well, just unlocking a different level, would be Saddiq Bey's play. Now that John Collins is gone, he's the starting player. He has to take over that role. He needs to knock down the shots. When he gets open shots, he needs to knock them down, right? And the people who get you those shots are your two guards, right? So defensively, the two guards, Dejounte Murray needs to go back to that level of being knocking on the door of all defensive team player, in the guard positions. Trae Young will never be an amazing defender, but he can be a pesky one, and that's all you can ask for, right? He's already undersized. He's not like those undersized, big, stocky guards. He's small, so getting steals can be his thing, and he puts a lot of pressure on defenses. At the moment he crosses the halfway line, you have to start guarding him, right? So this team only goes as far as these two go, the guards. So how far can the two guards take the Atlanta Hawks? And with that, my 24-second prediction. Shot clock. The Hawks. I have the Hawks in 19th place in my rankings, but in the East, I have them in 9th place. And that just puts them around the play-in tournament, right? So we look at about 42 wins. I just don't see. I'm here. I want to see more. I hope they can give me more. I hope I can see more from Dejounte Murray specifically. Saddiq Bey as well, just be a knockdown shooter. Other than that, I don't see them being better than many of these teams in the East. And the defense is just not capable of stopping some people, right? Like many teams actually. So for me, I see them just making the play-in tournament with about a 40, again, that 41, they had maybe 40-42 or 42-40 record, something close to that. In a red and yellow thing, old school Atlanta Hawk. We are done with the Atlanta Hawks. Like I'm from Colley Park, but I'm from Harley Grove. Now all my blood scream, so whoop and da-da-do. I don't know why. Every time I talk about the Hawks, I just end up singing this song. Like it's just my DNA. Shout out to Lil Wayne for making my childhood. Next up in 18th place, we are moving to the. No, we're not moving to the West. We're still in the East. In 18th place, coming up, a team that was coached by Larry Bird.
Ready for the ultimate slam dunk of content? Don't miss out on any of our NBA previews. Hit subscribe and be the MVP of your basketball knowledge game.